Smithville Board of Alderman meeting is now called to order. I've asked Dennis Cathcart to lead us in the pledge. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Turn on your own microphone. First item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Alderman Blumker.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. I have a second. Alderman Atkins. Second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carries. Mayor's report. First thing, Gary's here from Clay County Health Department to present a certificate to the Board of Aldermen. So if you guys would like to stand, and then John and Jeff help receive it. So anything else you want to take on? Yes, please. Yes, come up.
So, ever since 2014, Public Health has recognized community health in action efforts throughout Clay County, and that's when either citizens, private citizens, or public bodies or groups or organizations do things that are very much in a public health way, prevention focused. And so one of the, we call it the CHIA Award, in case you wondered what Community Health in Action is short for. It's not the Chia Pet that you've seen on television before, but anyway, we give these out every year, and this year we want to recognize the Mayor and Board of Aldermen here in Smithville for passing Tobacco 21 and Smoke-Free Parks Ordinance here in Smithville. Public policy is the most important way to affect change in the community, and so we want to recognize these efforts, and so please join me in giving them a hand for being leaders in this area. You get to keep the flag, so you want to do a photo op?
Yeah. So, yeah. I kind of bumped on this one.
Okay, everyone, ready? 1, 2, 3. Let me take one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Put that here, Jeff. Sure. Thank you. All right, next, we have a new officer. Colby, come forward. Who's pinning you? There we go. Is this your mom? All right. Ready? Got the pictures? Okay. All right. Repeat after me, please. I, Colby Atkins,
I, Colby Atkins,
solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
to support the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
to support the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the provisions of all laws
and the provisions of all laws
of this state affecting cities of the fourth class,
of this state affecting cities of the fourth class,
and the ordinances of the City of Smithville,
and the ordinances of the City of Smithville,
and to demean myself faithfully
and to demean myself faithfully
as a police officer for the City of Smithville, Missouri. As a police officer?
as a police officer for the City of Smithville, Missouri.
There you go. Congratulations. Thank you. No blood, right? Good.
Different ceremony.
Moving on. We got a lot of things to go. I'll skip over my report. Ms. Wagner, committee reports. Do we have any? Parks? Oh, yeah, EDC. John, you go first. EDC?
Yeah, we just had a good meeting to talk about some of the permits that we've gotten this year, housing permits and the commercial permits are still coming in, and we're doing pretty good.
New election of officers, new members.
Yeah, Alicia Knapp was elected as president.
Parks and Rec, Alderman Nelson.
We talked about the location of the additional basketball court or the basketball court down at Heritage Park was our main discussion.
Cool. City Administrator's report, Ms. Wagner, do you have anything to report?
A few items from the report that I wanted to highlight. There is a report included in your packet with regard to a speed limit review in the Rocky Point subdivision. We did provide that information. Staff does recommend no changes to the existing speed limit, which is the citywide speed limit on residential streets and unposted areas of 25 miles per hour. We did convey the information to the resident making the request. She did indicate that there was actually a different point in the subdivision she would like to have reviewed, so we'll review that as well. And we'll go through the same process and get that information out. Also included in the packet is information with regard to budgeted rate increases. As we note, the trash rate, the budget includes 3% cost to CPI amount. The contract with our provider allows for that increase effective January 1. Unless otherwise directed by the board, we'll bring that forward for adoption in December so that we can incorporate that into the January billing. And then we also, the budget anticipated an increase in water and sewer rates. Those will depend. What we'd like to do is have some discussion, perhaps at a work session in December to discuss those increases. What we'd like to make sure right now is the budget anticipated March implementation with April bills. Last year we delayed that until July, and we wanted to confirm with the board that you were okay with us proceeding with March implementation on that. And I see nods around the room, so we'll proceed with that. So we'll bring information in December and then put together a schedule for public hearing. First public hearing will probably be in January. Indicated a little bit in our work session earlier. Staff has started. We started the fiscal year last Friday. And our work plan for the fiscal year with those items that are budgeted and preparing for things. We've got a long list of things that we're working on. We've talked a lot about fall ball, and so our planning this fall for our next 6 to 8 weeks to really help us get going for the rest of the fiscal year. The November 19th work session will have International Building Code review for potential update there, review of downtown regulations. Staff is also working with our engineers on the Main Street Trail, as well as the streetscape project, probably the east side of the streetscape project. We will, at the next meeting, have discussion with regard to timing of funding of streetscape improvements that make sense with regard to the Main Street Trail. Saturday, we will roll out the strategic plan, and staff has already begun looking at that and thinking about the action steps necessary to move forward with those recommendations. On Friday, we have interviews. Some of you are involved in those interviews to select a consultant to complete our comprehensive plan update. We have received a proposal for the vacant lot back here behind City Hall, and we are in the process of evaluating that response, and we'll be bringing some potential agreements forward over the next several weeks. So later this week we'll have a meeting with that developer and their legal representation along with ours, and initial discussions of the first phase there. Dan is working to complete the budget document for posting online, and we're hopeful that could happen as early as yet this week. As part of the next several months, we do anticipate reviewing existing benchmark data in the budget and looking to update those. We're working with a consultant for completion of the first phase of improvements to City Hall, and we'll anticipate that going out to bid here in the next week and a half or so. So we'll start to see improvements on that project after the first of the year. In addition to the Main Street Trail, we have, and the streetscape that we want to talk about at the next meeting, we have budgeted for replacement of the Main Street water line in advance of those other projects, and that's included in the budget. Dan will start working with the auditors on the audit for the 2019 fiscal year, and soon after completion of that presentation in January, we will send out an RFQ for audit services, because we're due for taking a look at that. At the last couple of meetings, we've talked about annexation and sales tax. So there are a number of items that we're working on as staff. We also, when we talked briefly about this in the work session, we will be working on the personnel front in a number of areas. January 6th, our new public works director will take office, and we'll be working on kind of onboarding him. He and I have been in communications even as recently as last night and tonight, and he's looking forward to starting. And as has been indicated to you all, Brett McCutcheon has announced his resignation from the city to take a job with the city of Shawnee, Kansas, and his last day will be November 22nd. So we will be evaluating that position, taking a look at comparables, and really getting a feel for how that works, and probably do a recruitment sometime after the first of the year with that. So the next 6 to 8 weeks are loaded with a lot of things to bring forward to you. Upcoming meetings, we do have on Saturday at 10 o'clock in the Performing Arts Center, the rollout of the strategic plan. We did post yesterday afternoon that draft, and I think it's got a lot of good information in it for folks to review. Next Tuesday at 6 o'clock here at City Hall, the INRAD liaison, I think that's with Alderman Bunker and Alderman Wilson will be involved in that meeting along with the mayor and myself. And then we have scheduled a joint board for the meeting of the full board of Alderman and the school board at 6 o'clock on November 25th at the school district offices.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is number 7. Bill number 2847, Alderman Chevalier.
Thank you. I move to approve bill number 2847-19, the conditional use permit.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Alderman Sarver?
Second.
Thank you. We have one public comment, the applicant, Adam. Yep. As we have before, state your name, address for the record, and kind of agreement, please.
So, Adam Swearingen, I'm the son of the applicant, Andy and Debbie Swearingen. Property is at 2424 Northeast 144th Street. So this is the final reading, or the second reading. I just wanted to ask for a couple of maybe clarifications or minor changes to the conditions. The conditions are listed as 1 through 4 in the packet. So when we originally requested the permit, we voluntarily offered no field lights. So obviously we're not going to be doing anything at night. I would like to suggest that the item number 3, which states that no such use may occur after sunset, be removed as a condition, as that's basically covered by no lighting, and it also kind of sets an artificial drop dead time when it's not really actually dark yet. So I'd offer, or I'd ask that be removed. And also in the Planning and Zoning Committee, the part of line 1 that restricts, so no lighting and/or sound system shall be installed or brought in for the athletic field at any time. I would like to have the sound system portion of that either stricken or changed to be clearer what the intent is there. I would certainly be fine with the wording saying no public address system, no loudspeakers, something like that. The reason that I'd like to change is I'd like to be able to have a radio out in the field. It seems like this should be handled just like any other sound ordinance for the city, just because it's being used for baseball. I don't see a reason to restrict the boombox from being out there while we're playing. So I appreciate your consideration of that. I think that's all.
Thank you. All right, discussion. Alderman Chevalier.
So with respect to, what he was saying about that, does that mean that you can't have a boombox out there? Is that how the ordinance is?
I don't think our existing ordinance says no radios.
But I mean, for this permit is what I'm wondering.
It says sound systems, it doesn't.
Would constitute the sound system.
Yeah.
Interpretation there.
There always is. I don't, based on past precedents, I don't think that would include a radio. Or like clarify.
Because I'm thinking of a PA system as in like something huge where, you're announcing players coming on the field, things like that.
Yeah.
A radio or just a boombox, I don't think you should qualify as that. So is that something we should make an amendment for? I would support that. And then in addition to being able to play at night, obviously you can't play baseball at night when you don't have lights. So I'm not sure what the sunset thing really means as far as, so I would be in support of striking that as well.
Okay. Someone want to make an amendment or any other discussion on that? Alderman?
Nothing here actually defines sound system. And there's nothing in the ordinance that defines sound system.
All right, we all are having some discussion out there. I don't know if there's any language or, because our existing, the ordinance doesn't include any limited, doesn't include any definition. But I guess the question is for requirements. It does say sound system, so kind of clarification of what that is.
Ultimately, we can clarify the language. If there's something you want to exclude or include or specifically identify, then that would be easy enough to include in the language. Sound system right now means anything that generates sound. If it's a radio, if it's PA, if it's any of it, that's what a sound system would be.
Okay. Thanks, Jack.
All right, so that, I guess I'd like to make a motion to clarify sound system as being a PA type system.
What about your other?
And then also I would like to strike that sunset clause and just after dark, obviously, no playing can occur since there's no lights.
I'll second the motion.
Make sure we got the language right first. So on number 1, do you want it to say no lighting and or sound systems excluding radios?
Or just say public addresses.
Or to say no public address systems and remove sound systems?
Sure.
So number 1 would read.
I mean, I guess I'm asking the city if that would be okay to do that, that would cover, right?
I think from an enforcement standpoint,
With regards to
implementation and that, so the language to be,
the sunset.
Sound system, to remove the word sound and replace it with public
yeah,
address.
so a public address system would be,
Yeah, that's clear.
Yes.
It's clear.
I have a question as far as what would be the limit to the sound if they go out there? I mean, can you play your boom box as loud as you want?
No, I think your existing,
Then the choice
That's what I'm trying to
your
figure.
existing peace disturbance ordinances would be in effect,
There you go.
whether you allow a PA system or not, whether you allow a music system or not. You still have a peace disturbance ordinances that would apply.
Excellent.
Okay, and then on number 3, just remove it completely.
I mean, I don't,
So
that seems arbitrary.
Okay. Okay, so amending to remove the word sound and replace it with public address and to remove number 3. Is that your motion? Is that your second? Any discussion? Cynthia, you got that?
it's less me and more Linda.
Linda, you got it? Linda's got it. She's good. When you are ready, Linda, please call roll.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
Alderman Carter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Wilson. Aye. Alderman Blumker.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier.
Aye.
Alderman Hooper.
Aye.
6-0.
Okay, amendment carries. Back to the original item as amended. Any other discussion? Okay. Clerk, please call roll on bill number 2847-19 as amended.
Alderman Hooper.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier.
Aye.
Alderman Blumker.
Aye.
Alderwoman Wilson. Aye. Alderman Sarver.
Aye.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries as amended. Ms. Wagner, please read the bill.
An ordinance authorizing a conditional use permit for an athletic field at 2424 Northeast 144th Street in accordance with the conditions stated in the planning commission findings.
Thank you. Moving on to number 8. Alderman Blumker.
I move to approve bill number 2848-19, rezoning 827 KK Highway, second reading.
Do I have a second? Alderman Wilson.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Clerk, please call roll.
Alderwoman Wilson. Aye. Alderman Sarver.
Aye.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
Alderman Hooper.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier.
Aye.
Alderman Blumker.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries. Ms. Wagner, please read the bill.
An ordinance changing the zoning classifications or districts of certain lands located in the city of Smithville, Missouri.
Okay, Lenny gets a little breakdown. Next item on the agenda is number 9, resolution 744, leak adjustment. Alderman Atkins.
I move to approve resolution 744, leak adjustment.
Alderman Sarver, who's the next one?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on this one? No? All those in favor of approving resolution 744, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is number 10, resolution 745. Alderman Wilson.
Move to approve resolution 745, authorization number 88 for the wastewater management plan, or master plan.
Thank you, Alderman Sarver. Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of approving resolution 745, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. All right, motion carries. We get a plan for our wastewater. Next, resolution 746, final plat approval. Alderman Chevalier.
Thank you. Move to approve resolution 746, final plat approval, Smith Valley Estates.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Alderman Holbert.
Second motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 746, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item is 747, number 12 on the agenda. Alderman Sarver.
Motion to approve resolution 747.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Alderman Holbert.
Second motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 747, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item is resolution 748, Alderman Blumker.
I move to approve resolution number 748, letter of support of Governor Parsons' executive order 19-18 regarding use of vaping devices among youth in Missouri.
Thank you. Alderman Chevalier.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 748, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. All right, next item on the, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is resolution 749. Salt and sand spreaders. Alderman Holbert.
I move to approve resolution 749, the emergency purchase of sand and salt spreaders.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Alderman Atkins.
Second motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 749, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries. We already bought those, right? We already ordered those.
With their honor, yes, and I've had many discussions about that preparation.
Ice is coming. Public comment. Monica, you are up. Where are you hiding back there? All right. case you didn't hear the first time, state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes. If you need more time, let me know, I'll give you some more time, because you're the only one. So.
Okay, I don't think I'll need more time, but good evening and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I am Monica Leary. I am one of the assistant principals at Smithville High School. I'm also an active member of the Smithville CIA, so Community in Action. In those two roles, I've had a great opportunity to work the front lines of the vaping epidemic. And I just wanted to share a few items that are important to us as a school and things that are happening in our community. So under Lori's help, our community has worked hard to pass ordinance to improve the quality of life of Smithville residents by passing Tobacco 21 and providing specific spots for vaping and smoking in all public parks. Flavor or not, one jewel pod, the nicotine impact contains the exact same amount or if not more than an entire pack of cigarettes. With that being said, as of October 1st of this year, the CDC has reported 1,080 lung injury cases and 18 deaths associated with vaping products, including 1 death and at least 10 cases in the state of Missouri. And if you are not aware, one of those cases in the state of Missouri came from our high school. So currently, we have a high school student who is suffering from vape lung. According to the CDC, 37% of these cases occur in patients under the age of 21. The specific chemicals that our kids are exposed to that are causing these injuries remain unknown. However, from interviews and things that we see, it is known that THC is thought to play a role with about 78% of 573 patients interviewed reporting to use the THC products in vape. I failed to bring my bag up. Kelly, will you bring that up for me? Thank you. I just brought those because I don't want to touch them. So this is our bag from the high school. And these are items that we have confiscated from students since August 15th with the high school. We have had a lot of incidents with vapes, and only one of those incidents did a student pass the drug test. Furthermore, in conversations with our students, they are telling us that their preference is vapes of flavor. So we confiscated watermelon, grape, bubblegum, all of which our kids seem to enjoy doing, vaping in their vapes. Our kids are using these as a means to self-medicate. They are becoming addicted to the vapes and substances inside of these vapes. And it is our mission to continue as a school and community partner in the efforts to protect our youth. There are several individuals here today that I would ask to stand if you are in support of these efforts, in the hopes that we would continue as a city to proceed and move forward with banning flavored vapes. Yes, anyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is the appointment for planning and zoning. And Dennis was nice enough to lead the pledge for us tonight as well. You all have his resume. If you guys have any questions for him, let me know. But, I nominate Dennis Cathcart to serve on Planning and Zoning Commission. Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
Alderman Sarver.
Aye.
Alderwoman Wilson. Aye. Alderman Herbert.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier.
Aye.
Alderman Rumper.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries. Dennis, you will be serving on P&Z, and I hear the next meeting is going to be a fun one, so we'll get together. Next is new business. Any new business from the board? Alderman Chevalier.
Yeah, I'm just curious, I know I was kind of talking to somebody about this, but I'm just wondering if next time we can have an opportunity to discuss the maybe, you know, and think of a different solution. I mean, I'm ready to
do you have your updates from Columbia or anything else that?
To our knowledge, Columbia and Springfield are the communities that are most actively researching and reviewing this issue. Most specifically, that work has begun with their health departments, and the bulk of the water carrying on those efforts have been at the health department because those are more the people who have more experience in health-related research and issues. I'm not sure of the progress right now with Springfield. I can follow up again with them. That was when I was at ICMA a couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with the city manager, much formally has come forward to the city for review. Last night at the Columbia City Council meeting, the health department did bring a request forward for the city to review moratorium on the sales of vaping products. The board for the city of Columbia tabled that item. I don't think, Linda, we've been able to determine, we'll have to look at their minutes, and those aren't available yet. I don't know the duration, whether that's indefinitely or any other information. There is a meeting of another group of the city of Columbia related to substance abuse, and there is an item of discussion of vaping, and I believe that meeting is the 13th. Yes, the 13th, a week from tomorrow. Yeah. So my guess would be, we'll continue to monitor what's going on in Columbia. My guess would be they won't take any action until they know any recommendations from them.
Okay. Alderman Butler.
Piggybacking on that a little bit, we've got a joint meeting with the school board coming up, and as I've shared, I believe this is a true community problem. I wonder if we could add that to the agenda item to discuss, this is a community issue that needs to be tackled with the leadership of the community, and that's a good place to discuss.
Okay. So everyone knows in the audience that meeting is public as well, so if you want to show up, you can. It's the 25th, correct?
Correct, 25th at 6 o'clock at the school district offices.
Okay.
That's a Monday.
Monday the 25th. At 6 p.m.?
Yes.
All right. Anything else? I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Alderman Butler.
Move to adjourn.
You, do I have a second? John will sit here all night. Alderman Wilson? Thank you. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Adjourn.